We just got a announcement for a ton of new features that Google has announced for Bard, which is, of course, its ChatGPT-like conversational agent.
And
Bard,
also what they're building into Google Workspace.
yes. So Bard is actually now available in 40 languages, and it's available now in a bunch of other countries that it wasn't before, including significantly the European Union, where Google had not previously released it due to concerns around some of the data privacy rules in the EU. Other major updates include things like you can now listen to Bard's responses instead of simply reading them. You can actually change the tone and style of Bard's responses. There's 5 different options for tone and style: simple, long, short, professional, or casual. You can also name or rename and pin conversations, so you can reference those really quickly later. A new feature allows you to export Python code to Replit, which is a really popular browser-based integrated development environment, or IDE. Shareable links make it easier to share Bard's responses with other people, and Bard now supports images, at least for English users right now. You can drop images into it and have Bard perform a range of tasks related to the image. It can tell you what's in it, write a caption for you, things like that. Now, Paul, as you're kind of hearing these announcements, what did you make of them?
Well, one, Sundar Pichai tweeted it, so they think it's a big deal. So usually if I see Sundar tweeting it, it's like, okay, this is a major launch for them. They're trying to make a big deal out of it. I think it's interesting from a perspective of what they're choosing to launch and how it differs from some of the other models, because I do think that there's this race to differentiate from each other. And I think they even called it augmented imagination was what they're saying, like a new take on this stuff. And so I think like the multimodal, like being able to, give it an image and ask what's in this image, being able to prompt it based on images. It's certainly interesting. I hope that they're not doing all these other things in lieu of solving for the fact that the outputs are subpar usually. So my experience with the Bard has been largely disappointing in terms of what it creates, just as I explained with the summarization thing. It's nowhere close, not even GPT-3 level close. Like it's just not on the same level. I know they have better capabilities that they're holding back for whatever reasons. So I keep waiting for Bard to actually be on par with GPT-4 or beyond. It is not, but it has a bunch of features now that those ones don't. I mentioned in my testing, so it's got solid insights, but otherwise, like it's very literal. It's not very advanced in terms of what it outputs. So, yeah, I mean, I think obviously it's interesting features until they solve the quality of the outputs and get them on par with some of the other models. I just don't see it, being a true competitor yet. But as we've always said, the big play here is who has the data and the distribution. And while Claude 2 may be better right now, and even GPT-4 is better, at the end of the day, those aren't going to be the things that are built into Google Workspace. So you're going to have the distribution of Google Workspace to build Bard into. And Google obviously has more data than anyone, especially once they start training or infusing video into these as well. They have YouTube to integrate. They have Google Images. They just have more multimodal data than anyone. And if they can truly succeed at infusing that into this model and making Bard what it's capable of being, you cannot bet against what they end up doing. I just hope we see a leap forward in its quality of output in the near future.
Gotcha. That is a really good take. I think that's helpful to help kind of our audience parse through all these different options, because like you mentioned, you have to keep revisiting these tools. Things could be night and day from the last time you used one of them for a specific use case.